Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk, where we cover sports and more for the culture, by the culture, because we are the culture. Hosted by your favorite twin duo, those Jackson men, Gary and Carrie. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where you can rate us, review, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, share.
Yes, sir.
We promised y'all something real special. Did you move on?
Yeah.
We promised y'all something real special. Hopefully y'all able to hear us, which you should be. But this is Bottom Line Sports Talk, where we do it
For the culture.
by the culture.
Because we are the culture, you dig?
#1 sports podcast. Why?
Because our mama said so.
Because our mama said so. And we are bringing you a very special edition of Bring It From the Bottom. No, I'm just playing. Bring you a very special edition of We Present March Madness.
The bracket time.
The brackets. So we're going to break down for you today the first 2 rounds of the NCAA men's tournament. Maybe I come back and do something for the women's tournament, who knows. But I know we're going to do the men's tournament. The first 2 rounds, we're going to walk out through our picks. Maybe we give us some examples, some hypothesis, some gut feelings, whatever it may be. We're going to get into that real quick. Keep y'all here very briefly. But whenever you watch this video, hold us accountable. And maybe you'll be shocked with some of the picks that we give you. We're trying to go perfect in the bracket. These ain't our final ones, but these are the ones that y'all think are final right now. And without further ado, that's Carrie. I'm Gary. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and tell a friend. We love y'all. For the repeat offenders, we appreciate y'all. For the first time listeners and replay viewers, and then I guess everybody's a replay viewer. For the first timers, make sure tap that like button, tap that subscribe button, and hit that little bell to go ahead and get notified every time we get ready to post. Without further ado,
let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. All right. So the first round we're gonna start on the UConn side. We have UConn versus Stetson. That should be an easy one. You have winning that one.
That is UConn most indubitably.
Most indubitably.
UConn is most likely the heavy favorite to win.
I agree.
To go back-to-back NCAA men's champion.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, it's a 1 seed versus 16 seed. I think that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
If you've seen UConn, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, dominant, just every position, they are better than a lot of people in the country.
Yep.
They
backups have backups.
Right. So they may have an easy way to the end, if you will.
They should be they are the unanimous #1 overall seed. So we had them.
Oh, I forgot. Before we keep going, let's make sure we give them some things that could happen to bust their brackets.
Okay.
5 and 12 seeds are things that could possibly bust your brackets. These are the things that'll get you when we say bust your bracket. These are the things that'll tear your bracket up and make you not be perfect. So the goal is to be perfect for as long as you can, or go all the way through. And if I'm not mistaken, there's never been a perfect bracket.
And it never will be. And again, also look for those 16 matchups. You never know. I see a couple of I can see a couple of upsets going on.
Yeah,
going down.
And the closer that you get in each bracket, you have 1 through 16 in each bracket, 4 brackets overall. I'm sorry, 4 regions overall. In the regions, you have 116, 215, all that, so on and so forth, till you get down and where you complete 1 through 16. The closer that the numbers get, in terms of the closer they get to each other in rankings, 8 and 9 seeds, 7 and 10 seeds, you really have the potential for an upset depending on how you look at rankings.
The 13 seed, the 12 seed.
Mm-hmm. Even your 7 to 10 matchup.
I see. It's going to be some good matchups that I believe is going to happen.
Yes, but ladies and gentlemen, the goal is to be perfect if you can. That is our goal for you right here, right now. This is what we hope to happen.
We can't make no promises.
We cannot make no promises because
we're going to try.
Always get busted.
And we're going to try.
Yes. Next matchup we have number 8 Florida Atlantic versus number 9 Northwestern. Who do you have in that one?
Ooh, this is a good one, man. This is what we're talking about. 19, which is Northwestern versus Florida Atlantic, that made it to the Final Four last year. I'm going Florida Atlantic.
Yeah,
I'm going Florida Atlantic. They battle tested.
I have no disagreements with you there. Florida Atlantic, I think a lot of their players came back and they were able to kind of retool, make it to the tournament. They ranked 8. I just think they're battle tested, like you said,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to see something good. But the next round is against UConn, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
San Diego State, number 5 seed versus UAB, number 12. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go out on the West Coast, man. UAB does have a stud of a squad, but I think San Diego State size is going to be the difference factor with against UAB. So I have San Diego State.
Yeah, I have San Diego State going too because their program has been battle tested now, and we look to see them in the tournament. Seems like every year now.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't make the tournament, it's a bit of a shock because
Right.
they become a statesman in it over the past 4 or 5 years. So
Great team, by the way.
yeah, great team, greatly coached, great program, great school. Seems like it. So San Diego State, I believe, is going to do that. Next, we have number 4 Auburn versus number 13 Yale. Yale, second consecutive year making it to the NCAA tournament, but they're going up against the juggernaut in Auburn. I believe I have Auburn going to the next round.
I have Auburn going.
Okay, you have Auburn going
Yes,
too.
sir.
I just think they'll overpower them. Shout out to Auburn for being the current SEC champions. I
Yes,
think
sir.
it's been a long time since it happened.
And they play great defense. Bruce Pearl is a great coach. I think they just gonna tie them out. They just gonna run, try to run.
Bruce Pearl, formerly of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next we have the BYU Cougars, I believe, versus the one I can't say.
Duquesne. Duquesne.
Who you have?
I have Duquesne.
Okay, why do you have them?
And just because they're from the East Coast.
I have them.
I mean, Duquesne is one of those teams that we always talk about that's from their shock. They'll shock somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they have enough to shock BYU. So that's why I'm having them.
Because I'm not a BYU fan in the sense, I would definitely pick. Say it again.
Duquesne.
Okay, I would definitely pick them. And when I think about this matchup, I feel like they're more evenly matched than what the number is. The 6 versus 11 seed.
Yep.
So I'm picking them. I saw their name, so their name something that you kind of got to go by, whatever, like a horse race in the sense you go by a name. And then secondly, like you got to have a Cinderella team.
Yep.
So somebody got to start the race. Seems like they may actually have a leeway there.
Yeah.
So that's one of the Cinderella teams I guess you could say that we
Okay.
potentially have. Illinois versus Morehead State. I think that's obvious.
I'm having Illinois because Terrence Shannon Jr. has been playing lights out basketball. I believe he was the tournament conference champion MVP, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He held it down. Great game, 6'6", have great size, and I think Illinois is gonna make some noise.
Okay. So I have Illinois there. I don't need to go into it because I don't know very much about them. I'm just going with the number right now at this point. Next we have Washington State versus Drake.
Ooh.
I actually picked Drake.
I have Washington State, man.
You have Washington State.
Yeah.
I'm picking Drake simply because where they're ranked seems like they may be a little bit battle tested throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
That may mean something. And when I think about Washington State, I'm not sure if they're really sound and put together because I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Drake off a whim.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. All right. So the next one we have is Iowa State, I believe, versus South Dakota State.
I believe that is correct.
And I have Iowa State.
Yes, I do have Iowa State.
Iowa State has been playing great basketball as of late. They won the Big 12 conference tournament championship as well. So I do have them. I have them winning against South Dakota State.
I have Iowa State too. The simple fact they've been one of the teams or only teams that was able to give Houston problems. And I just think that's a team to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
They're number 2 seed in the East region.
Okay.
And I think they're headed towards a collision course with UConn, and that could be very interesting because they could be the only one that could deceive them.
Yep.
We have the West region. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all, honestly, we're about to be biased as hell. UNC is gonna get out this and get to the Final Four, but we'll go ahead and entertain y'all. UNC versus Wagner. UNC gonna win. Obviously, we don't even have to ask you because I just said what I said.
Yep.
So let's go down to the next one. Mississippi State versus Michigan State. I am going Mississippi State. I will tell you just because they the next door neighbor to Louisiana. And that cricket I show up different when it need to.
All right.
I already know who you going with.
I have Michigan State winning that game against Mississippi State. Right now, Michigan State has they kind of an anomaly, so to speak.
Not the same.
They not the same. They not the same team that we've seen, especially on the offensive end. But as a team, they come together and however they get the job done, they get the job done, and boom. I believe I have them beating Mississippi State.
So we have St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. Again, St. Mary's is a staple in the tournament nowadays, and that's who I'm gonna roll with.
I am too.
Yeah,
I am too. St. Mary's, they fundamentally sound basketball team, so I see them. I see them advancing.
Alabama Charleston. The thing that intrigued me about this matchup is sometimes Alabama doesn't show up in games that it needs to, and you wonder. And I haven't seen them play this year, but you wonder if they're gonna fall down to. And I'm not insulting Charleston when I say this, but kind of play down to the level of competition.
Yeah.
If they do that, they can lose. With that being said, I think I'm still gonna roll with Alabama, but that's a sneaky one to watch.
Yeah, I can see that one. All right, so who you going with?
I'm going with Alabama.
Alabama?
Yeah.
You know what? This is what it's all about. I have Charleston.
You got okay.
I have Charleston winning.
Okay.
Just for shock value.
Okay. And that's a 4-13 seed. Please forgive me, y'all. I got to make sure I say the seed name so y'all can hear it. So next we have number 6 Clemson versus number 11 New Mexico. I am going with number 11 New Mexico. This is a Cinderella story that I think is in the making. Commentators have been talking about it. I heard that they have a well-rounded team. And in basketball, unlike football, having a well-rounded team, no matter the size of your school, means something.
And also, Eddie House Jr. plays for New Mexico State.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Look, I know it. We said Eddie House, so that kind of tell you how old we are.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Eddie House. If you know, you know. Shout out to Skip to Malou too, man.
Shout out to Skip to Malou.
Shout out to Skip to Malou. So I have New Mexico.
You have New Mexico? Okay. So you're going with me on that one. Yep. So we have Baylor versus Colgate.
Baylor.
Yeah. I'm about to say, keep your head down.
Yeah.
Don't need to say that. Baylor has been a statesman since you did AAU ball and you played with who?
Legendary is done.
A very, very much well-rounded individual.
Yep.
That was a star. He was ranked in the nation the whole 9 yards. He went to Baylor. Was he a part of a national championship team?
He was not.
He was not. But I know they had a lot of hype going around the teams that they had. They had a real good team back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
We have number 7 Dayton versus number 10 Nevada. Now, I don't know very much about Nevada this year, but I do know a little bit about Dayton. And since Dayton is number 7, that's what I'm going with here in the seeding wise. Do you think Nevada has a chance?
I think they do. Look, don't ever underestimate Nevada. They can cause some problems for a lot of teams. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with any of their players.
Yeah,
I'm not scared to admit I haven't seen them play a lot. I'm not on the. Yeah, I'm not familiar with a lot of their players. Some of their games haven't been nationally televised, but hey, I know they give people problems. So. But in this instance, I'm gonna choose Dayton.
Okay. And last but not least, this is the number 2 versus 15 seed Arizona versus Long Beach State.
Arizona.
Yeah, would love to see Long Beach State have a good showing, but I think Arizona, being who they have been this whole time, nothing shocks me with them right now. So I think they'll get past first round.
Oh yeah.
Here we have on the other side in the South region. We have Houston versus Longwood. Houston's going to take it, in my opinion. I think that goes without saying.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next, and that was a 1-16 matchup. Next, we have Nebraska versus Texas A&M in an 8-9 matchup. I think I'm going with Texas A&M.
I'm going with Texas A&M too. I did watch them a lot during this season, and on ball. First and foremost, when their point guards are hitting their shots, when they're hitting their threes, it gets everything open, and Buzz Williams has always had a good defensive team. Texas A&M is a good defensive team. They have the forwards that can do what they do. They have point guards that can lock down, and they also have good point guards that can make some things happen. So I have Texas A&M winning this against Nebraska.
Okay. Next, we have the number 5 seed Wisconsin versus number 12 James Madison. I am going with James Madison.
Okay.
And the reason why is because since James Madison has moved conferences, they went from Division II, I believe, to the Sun Belt Conference.
Okay.
They have wrecked shop in every sport, seems like it. I don't know what they did in track, but I do know basketball, football, they have been powerhouses this year. I'm going with James Madison because that is a seed you have to watch 5-12. Crazy things happen. And although people will tell you that it hadn't happened in the past couple of years because of stats and stuff, that's just a seed you got to watch out for. I think this is one to watch out for. And I am going to choose James Madison.
And I have Wisconsin winning that one. I don't know, man. Wisconsin, I feel that they possibly could have won against Illinois in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, was that Wisconsin they played against? I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyway, I have Wisconsin winning, man. The next one we have is Duke in Vermont. Now, in my heart, I want Vermont to win.
Don't be a hater right now, kid.
But in my head, I have Duke winning. They are good. They still are Duke. So
yeah, I have Duke winning. I don't even have to go into it. Vermont, appreciate you making it to the tournament, but Duke has revenge on their mind with a lot of things, and we cause that stir up. So I feel bad for the buzzsaw y'all about to go through.
Mm-hmm.
We have number 6 Texas Tech versus number 11 NC State. I am going NC State because I think they're going to ride on a high from them winning the ACC tournament.
Yes, sir.
What say you?
I have NC State win this game. I think the big guy from NC State, I think he is a bulldog. He gets whatever he wants in the paint. Nobody can stop him. Nobody has stopped him this season. And once he gets going and they start double teaming him, which they will if he gets going, bring it out to the shooters and they make some things happen.
Very Nikola Jokic Joker-esque with how he even passes the ball. I didn't think he was going to be that good at passing the ball. Yep. And he's a lefty. So that's one of those things to look out for. We have Kentucky versus Oakland, 3-14 seed. Kentucky, right?
I have Kentucky winning.
I would be curious to see if Oakland shows up, though, because as I told a coworker, Kentucky isn't feared as they used to be as far as getting all the high-profile players because it's evenly split, the transfer portal, the whole 9 yards. So Kentucky, being a 3 seed, was a shocker to me, but I know when I look at them, I don't know if I see the same fear as when they used to get all the big profile players one and done time.
Right. Okay. All right. So now we have Florida.
And that'll be Colorado.
Colorado
or Boise State, I believe.
Boise State? Okay. Well, I have Florida
winning no matter what.
Yeah, I have Florida winning that one.
Yeah, Florida no matter what for me too.
Yeah, I think Florida ranks on the offensive end of the ball. They rank either top 10 nationally or top 20 nationally in offensive rebounding. So I think that's going to play into how far they go. If they can rebound the ball good on the offensive end, on the offensive rebounds, I think they will go far. But hey, I have Florida winning this one.
Yeah. I have Florida winning just because of they cachet, their pedigree. So yeah, Florida will win that. Number 2, Marquette versus number 15, Wisconsin. I have Marquette, and spoiler alert, I have Marquette going pretty far in this thing because Marquette, when we were coming of age, they began to be a staple, and they went from being a Cinderella team to a constant. So now maybe this is the start of them being back. I have Marquette winning this game against Western Kentucky.
I have Marquette winning this game too. And Marquette, I have to agree with what you have said. They have been a staple. Shaka Smart has this team rolling. Again, like we said on the podcast, they went toe-to-toe with the best team in the country with UConn in the Big East national championship game. So I have Marquette winning against Western Kentucky.
All right, in the Midwest region, we have Purdue, number 1 versus number 16, whether it's Montana State or Grambling. I'm going to go with Purdue. They have a lot going on right now, so Purdue will win that matchup with whoever they're going to face.
Well, I have Grambling State winning that one. I'm playing, people. I'm playing.
We're not even winning right now.
We're not even winning right now, but that's fine. I have Purdue Boilermakers winning. I have Purdue Boilermakers winning this. Winning that game against either more than likely Grambling State.
Yeah, not by that score right now.
Yeah, not by the score. Okay.
Also, we have number 8, Utah State versus number 9, TCU. I have Utah State here, and it's strictly because I think Utah State must be in something right now.
I have TCU winning this.
Yeah, because it's home right now.
Well, it's home right now, man.
Number 5, Gonzaga versus number 12, McNeese State. I've been battling with this back and forth all day. And in every bracket, I picked McNeese State. So
you know the reason I picked McNeese State is
Will Wade.
Will Wade, that's one. And 2, I think they run a good slow tempo offense.
I'm looking forward to seeing them play.
And I just want to see what Will Wade is going to do. The team, like I said, they are definitely fishing on the offensive end of the ball. Now, what they do against Gonzaga on defense, hey, we'll see. But I'm liking my chance. I think McNeese State might have upset on their hands.
Yeah,
I think they might upset Gonzaga.
I think so too. So that's who I have, McNeese State. We have number 4 Kansas versus number 13 Samford.
Kansas still Kansas. So
I think Kansas is still Kansas, but if it turns out that Samford actually beats Kansas, you know how we feel about their head coach.
We love it. I love it.
You know.
So I'm pulling for Samford, but we using logic right now, so we just gonna say Kansas.
Yeah. So we have number 6 South Carolina versus number 11 Oregon. I am going with the West Coast team, Oregon.
I'm going with South Carolina, man.
Okay.
I'm going with South Carolina. They make some noise. They low key getting back there. Like I said, I know I've seen a couple of their games. You know, they doing their thing.
I heard things about Oregon, and it was positive things when I did listen to a segment when I was kind of catching up on who I need to pay attention to when they were doing Selection Sunday. And I heard good things about Oregon, and a lot of people were saying, don't be shocked if Oregon actually comes in there and pulls the upset.
And Oregon is the Pac-12 champion.
They are the Pac-12
champions. They are the Pac-12 champions, so watch out for Oregon, people.
Number 3, Creighton, which I did not know they were number 3, versus number 14.
Yeah, Creighton is a good team.
So Creighton already, and Creighton, just like Marquette used to be, what St. Mary's is, what Drake is, and what San Diego State is, and maybe FAU now creeping up on it. They can maybe compete again next year in the tournament.
Right.
Creighton has been a staple for a while, smaller school, but they're really, really good at basketball right now. So Creighton, and men's and women, honestly, because the women have been in the tournament too.
Yeah.
So I'm going Creighton with that. I think Akron may get blown out.
Yeah.
Because Creighton keep a couple shooters on their team. We have number 7 Texas versus Colorado State after Colorado State defeated UAB last night. I'm sorry, UVA. I said UAB. Not the thing for Call of Duty, but UVA. I have Texas beating them. No, hands down.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I have Texas beating them too, because Colorado State, congratulations for making this far. But I mean,
you about to get our man tomorrow.
Yeah, they might.
Whenever they play.
Whenever they play, they might get our man, because y'all played a weak Virginia team.
Yeah.
So.
And finally, for the wrap up of the first round, Tennessee, number 2 seed versus number 15 St. Peter's. St. Peter's, y'all, is filled with a bunch of New York ballers. Thanks to you telling me that, right? But they were also the Cinderella story from last year. In my heart of hearts, this low seed I would want to actually go ahead and do something and really be another Cinderella story, right? And maybe become a statesman in the tournament. However, they're going up against the Tennessee. And so my heart says what it says, but my head is going to say Tennessee. And I know that you just said Tennessee too.
I have Tennessee going. They have a couple of shooters. They are a complete basketball team. Rick Barnes has his team playing great defense as well. They had the guy is Connect or something like that. Connect. Anyway, they have him as a great shooter. He has improved his draft stock. If you ask me my opinion, he has improved his draft stock tremendously this season. So I like what I see from Tennessee. So I have Tennessee beating St. Peter's. Just don't freeze up on me.
All right. So as we go to the second round, we won't go through the numbers, right? We're just gonna go through the picks that we have. We don't have to be as detailed, right? Because we want to keep this real short, real brief, because when we get to the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, then we'll be able to give a deep dive for what we've seen already and have more information. So really quick, we're just going to go through all of them. We're going to say our picks. If you want to say anything, of course, you can stop me. If not, we'll go ahead and go. UConn, FAU.
UConn.
All right. I have UConn as well. San Diego State versus Auburn.
Auburn.
I have San Diego State again. Cinderella stories, they have to make it further than the round of 32. And I think San Diego State may surprise some people. So that's what I have going on. Then we have Duquesne, right?
Yep.
Versus Illinois.
Illinois.
Okay. I have Illinois. Now, Duquesne mess around and win. Get a triple double. Who knows, right?
Who knows, man?
Drake versus Iowa State. I have Iowa State there because of their defense, because of the way they play ball, their physical brand of basketball. Who do you have this?
Iowa State. Let's get to it. And we have next UNC versus Michigan State.
We have UNC, I believe,
I have-
collectively.
Yes, sir.
What do we have next?
St. Mary's and Charleston.
And I have St. Mary's
St.
versus
Mary's, yeah. St. Mary's versus Charleston. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I had St. Mary's versus Alabama.
Okay.
And I still have St. Mary's winning also.
Okay.
I think we're gonna, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna look very similar on a lot of things right now going forward. Maybe a few differences, but a lot of this is gonna look very similar because this is where we get down to the nitty-gritty. We kind of know some things about basketball. So we have next New Mexico State versus Baylor.
Baylor.
I think Baylor too. I believe Baylor too. Just overpowered, if you will. Dayton versus Arizona. Do we have upset to make it, or is Arizona going to be the team to go?
It depends. Wherever Caleb Love go, that's how they go. And I have Arizona winning.
I have Arizona winning on that. I do agree with you. Wherever Caleb Love goes, they go. But I do believe in the next round, Caleb Love's magic may stop if he doesn't have good performances all the way up until the end. Houston versus Texas A&M. I have Houston going to the next round.
Defense, man.
Defense wins. The way they play, the way they shoot, I believe that's going to be the keys to that victory. James Madison versus Duke. I would love for James Madison to continue that magic, but I believe Duke is going to be the one to go ahead and
I have
force
Duke
it.
winning that, and NC State versus Kentucky.
Woo! So I think NC State's magic runs out at this point. I think Kentucky will go ahead.
I think Kentucky has it.
I think Calipari is going to sneakily get into the Sweet 16.
And plus, Kentucky has more bigs that can that can go head to head with old boy and tire him out.
Yeah, and I think that's their main trick bag weapon, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you minimize him, that stops everything else. Plus, they got a lot of emotional players and gets them in foul trouble too.
Yep.
And Kentucky, they'll act like they've been there before.
Yep.
Florida versus Marquette. I have Marquette.
Marquette, man.
Marquette too. Oh, okay, we really are looking the same right here. We had a couple differences in the first round, ladies and gentlemen, but right now we are looking pretty much similar right now.
Yes, sir.
To wrap it on up with these last four matchups, and we'll go ahead and get y'all out of here. Purdue versus Utah State.
Purdue, man.
I have Purdue as well. Who do we have next?
I have McNeese State and Kansas.
I do too. Who do you have winning?
I have Kansas winning this.
I have Kansas winning, unfortunately, and I think after that, I think their magic stopped because that coach that we don't like is the head coach for them. I have Oregon versus Creighton, and you have
South Carolina
versus Creighton. Who do you have going forward?
I have Creighton going.
I have Creighton going as well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, they are a statesman in the NCAA tournament after being in there consecutively so many years. They keep shooters. They might have good size. I haven't seen them play very much, but they always have a good will to win. Mm-hmm. And big schools don't, penetrate their psyche anymore. So I believe they're going to come with the winning heart and hopefully winning mind, and we shall see. Last game on the slate right here with the last team that we have going in advance to the Sweet 16 round. Texas versus Tennessee. Please tell me who you have.
I have Tennessee. Represent.
I have Tennessee going as well. Tennessee has been proving a lot of things. They got a lot of good players, shooters, bigs, the whole 9 yards. I believe. I can't remember their key guy who they were impressed upon, but he got hurt. But I think he's back now. Just they got a loaded bench the whole 9 yards. I think it's going to be too much for Texas to overcome.
Yep, me too.
So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have given you our first 2-round prediction. This will get you until next weekend. And next week, we will have Sweet 16 and Elite 8 predictions. And we will have a little bit more deep analysis because we will have more information to give you. Mm-hmm. But just know, these are, one of ours will be perfect. The other one won't, right? We're going to try to say as perfect as possible. We expect y'all to keep us honest. But, hey, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bottom Line Sports Talk. That's Kerry.
Yep.
I'm Gary. Bottom Line Sports Talk, where we do it.
For the culture.
By the culture.
Because we are the culture, you did.
#1 sports podcast. Why?
Because our mama said so.
Because our mama said so. Y'all take it easy. We'll see y'all really, really soon.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Bottom Line Sports Talk. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and don't forget to share. We'll see you next time.